All right. So I want you guys to imagine yourself in your workforce. Whatever job industry you do, just think back and see yourself working. See how much hard work you put into. Imagine doing everything that your boss says to do and promptly. Now, you feel great about it. Now imagine on Friday or whatever payday is, and imagine getting that paycheck and seeing a zero on it. How did that make you feel? Now think about college sports. They put in hours day and night, and they don't get paid a penny. Today I want to talk to you guys why I think college players should be paid for what they do in sports, and I'm going to analyze how much revenue is actually brought in through sports, the system of paying players today, and then also we're going to look at college on the business side. So first, the top 15 coaches. Football coaches earn $53.4 million in salaries a year. Now, 132,338 players receive nothing. The New York Times did a article on this, and it's just shocking for me to see these results. I don't understand how coaches can be paid so much, but players receive yet nothing. Last time I checked, it takes 11 players on each side of the field to play a game, not just one coach. TV income alone, according to ESPN, is between $14 and $15 million. That's how much schools are getting paid just to show their games on TV. That's an incredible amount of money. The top school, according to ESPN, has also received $123,769,841 in sports revenue. That's an incredible amount of money. Now, I do know there's expenses to that as well, but it's just a big amount of money. The 28 bowl games that play, they pay $184 million to both teams that play. That's total. That's an incredible amount of money. This is a lot of money that's up for stakes here, but yet players are receiving nothing. Now that we looked at how much money is brought in, now I want to look at what is the system we have today about paying players. Like you guys know, players are not allowed to be paid for anything. They're not allowed to be paid for signing autographs. They're not allowed to be paid for jerseys, anything. This is a NCAA violation, and as you've seen in the news, there has been many instances where this has happened. Players have been fined. Players have been suspended for games. And it's just an awful thing that goes on. Emirates, the president of the National National Collegiate Players Association, has agreed to a $2,000 stipend to pay players to come into their school of choice. Now, this money is designed to help pay for tuition at the front and housing. Now. This is a lot of money, and when asked upon this, a question was asked: are we going to a system where we are paying to play? Now, the New York Times did this study, and they said Emirates responded with, if we were to go to a pay-and-play style, that would be the end of college football. Players would no longer need to go to class. They would be on the payroll at the university. They'd be employees. There would be no requirements to pass classes, and they just wouldn't. So I think this is funny to me because isn't that the system we have today? I had the honor of taking a class this last semester with the majority of college athletes in it. It was just an elective class. It was an intro class. And the first day I walked in class, and there was different groups. You could see the football player group over here, the basketball group over here, and the football player group over here. This class was one of the easiest classes I've ever taken in my college career. I didn't spend any time studying. And that's not just because I'm smart. It's because it was an easy class. Colleges are introducing programs now that are catered to college athletes. They're allowing them to take intro classes in almost anything and get a degree and move on, and just so they can pass and play. So therefore, the statement of if we were to pay college players at the end of college sports is that's no longer good. That's the system we have today. The graduation percentage at University of Texas saw 52% of their football players graduate. Now I know some of them did go to the NFL, but that's an awfully low amount for a graduation rate. Lee Steinberg, a sports agent, says that players don't have any morals when it comes to taking money under the table because they don't see that they're not getting enough. They see how much the NCAA is ripping them off, and they're just like, okay, let me just take $15 for this autograph, and then yet they get in trouble for it. Coaches can sign million-dollar deals, and yet players have no say in that at all. They don't get anything. With Under Armour, anything. Players see their jerseys on racks when you go into bookstores. They see their numbers being displayed and they're representing that, but yet they don't get any revenue from that at all. There's actually an instance where Maurice Claret, a running back at Ohio State University, asked his coach for a plane ticket because he couldn't afford it when his brother passed away. Now, his coach couldn't do it because it would be a violation of NCAA rules. Now, you may ask yourself, well, how is it Ohio State's responsibility to buy him a plane ticket? And I say to you, that's not the point. The point is that we have such a screwed up system today that coaches are not willing to help out their fellow athletes, friends, kids, because they're afraid of violating the NCAA rules and being kicked out or non-bowl eligible. Now, this is a problem. Now, if we were to pay players, now all this would go away. There'd be no problems at all. So now that we looked at how much revenue is actually brought in through collegiate sports, we looked at the system we have today. Finally, I would like to look at college as a business. College sports as a business. College football and men's basketball earn $6 billion a year, according to Morning Express with Robin Mead. She actually did a study on this, and she found out that this is more than the NBA organization, and these players are getting paid millions of dollars. So I think there's a big imbalance there. That's not right. Coors and Chick-fil-A throw millions of dollars to marketing and are putting these players' faces on everything, but yet they don't get a dime of anything. Players put in 50 hours a week in football or basketball, track, swimming, anything alone to represent their school on game day or whenever it's time to participate. But yet they're not receiving a dime of it. Now I do know that they get scholarships and help with that, but it's not enough. These universities are getting way too much money and not giving out enough money to these players that are really the labor force of what's making the business work. A study was done with Morning Express again, and the study was that was found that a football player is worth $120,000. Now you do the math. How many football players are on a team? There's probably about 50. That's a lot of money. The same study with Morning Express said that basketball players were $265,000. Now I know there's less basketball players on the team, but still, that's a lot of money. If these players would organize, get together, and say, we're not doing this anymore if we're not going to get paid, I think that the NCAA would be in big trouble, and they'd be in no position to not pay. Many of these players actually live below the poverty line. They're getting their free education, and I know, but still, when it comes to paying their cell phone bill, they don't have enough money, and so they're forced to deal under the table and take little bits of money here and there, which violates NCAA rules. So once again, I say that if we were to pay players, that these problems would go away. Now I know I'm not saying I have the perfect plan for this, but I am saying that if someone developed a plan, it could work out. So imagine yourself again in your jobs. Now imagine yourself how you would feel, or how if you were a college athlete, how you would feel for not getting paid at all. Now you guys know how that feels. So now that we are educated on how much money is actually brought in by college sports, the system that we have today that is corrupt, and lastly, the business side of collegiate sports, I hope you guys feel the same way I do about why college players should be paid. Thank you.